fight it out.
This armor knows your next move before you do, Steve.
You think I'm going down to some pampered punk like you?
Go for broke. Fight!
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerd is a New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka the Master Debater, with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka Sleeping Fucking Beauty.
Okay, and he's up now. And we have guests this time. Okay, so we've been promoting this all weekend since this is the 150th episode. We decided to bring on some guests also. We're bringing on guests from our sister from another mister. Yeah, ComicCast. And we have Boogie.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
I'm Boogie Bentley, a.k.a. Justin Matthews, first ever Tennessee heavyweight champion for New South Wrestling, circa 2000.
So this podcast can kick our podcast ass. So, yeah.
That's not true.
This is Gomer. Y'all didn't come here to hear me. You just want to dance.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. We're back with another episode. I guess we're going to have to change up the format a little bit, trying to do a little different. But, yeah, so normally what we start off with before we jump into the comic book reviews, because we do have a comic review, which is a lengthy, detailed comic review we're going to do this time. We're going to jump into some other shit. And while we were doing this podcast, some big news dropped this week that just put the whole nerd world on pause.
Whatever.
So I think we're just going to jump into it. Gomer, you're excited about it. Eli, I know you're excited.
I'm not excited about it. I'm not poo-pooing on it.
Okay,
but I'm not
like me, like I am.
Yeah, you're poo-pooing on it.
All right. So I guess we got to talk about the news. We got to talk about the Snyder Cut.
It's for real. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's for real. Now, for real. Now, here's the thing.
It's kind of a real thing.
It's kind of a real thing. Now, do people like me owe the Snyder Cut cultists an apology? Fuck no, I don't. We can cut. It's my podcast, even podcast, we say we want to say. So I don't owe anybody an apology. And I'll tell you why I don't owe anybody an apology. Because, yes, the Snyder Cut will be real sometime in 2021. Is it real as of right now in COVID-19's America? No, it is not.
Well, it's not even going to be in theaters. It's going to be streamed. It's a Netflix show now.
Right, and that's the thing. It would never come to theaters. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You Snyder fanboys, you better thank COVID-19 stars. Kiss the feet that happened, because that's the reason this is happening right now.
The whole stay-at-home thing where they all got together and we're talking, and the execs are like, well, we don't really have anything else to do because we can't work on movies. Snyder Cut's done with all its filming. All they got to do is have some nerds sitting on a computer somewhere doing all the special effects, and bam, we've got a new show. Is the Snyder Cut the only show right now that's actually in production?
It may
Everybody else out. Everybody else not working.
Nobody else can do anything. And here's the thing. This came from the top. This came from AT&T. AT&T wants this done.
Yeah.
Because HBO Max is going to be this big deal that's coming out. They have to crank out content no matter what.
This week. It comes out this week.
It
Not
comes
the
out this
Snyder
week.
Cut, but HBO Max.
Oh, see, but that's how you get it started. That's how these rumors come out.
Sorry.
The Snyder Cut comes out tomorrow. Martian Manhunter.
I'm taking off work. Off work.
Comic Book Bully said that. No, we didn't. So, all right. So the Snyder Cut is going to be a thing sometime this week, sometime next year. HBO Max has to have content. Right now, they don't have any original content to get people to subscribe. Yes, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a good show. You're not going to make me sign up. You know,
you're not allowed. No, I know the rules. No Will Smith shit on the Bullies podcast.
We try to stick to that rule.
They're gonna have some good exclusive.
See, now I can see Eli. Now I can see Eli eyes rolling whenever I say.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Will Smith. You used Independence Day in the trailer for this crossover.
Right.
Oh, I know that's on purpose.
I did it on purpose. All right. So, like I said, they need content. They have nothing out. Snyder is sitting, the Snyder Cut is sitting right there. So what if WB and Snyder has bad blood? ATT and give a shit. They want money. and they're not going to spend a whole lot of money for it. So at first, Snyder was saying he needed, like last year when this stuff's coming out, he said he needed 75 to 100 million to get the thing made. AT&T or Warner Brothers, whoever is saying, they're saying you're getting 20, maybe 30.
It's weird they're putting them on a budget.
They're putting them on a budget. So I don't know what movie people are expecting to see on a $20 to $30 million extra. It's not going to be it's really not going to be that big a deal of what we've seen before. You may get like the third act change, maybe some inserted scenes here.
They're saying it's 6 hours. I mean, it's going to be. They got to fill that with something. They got to put something in there.
Is it going to be anything meaningful? Is it going to be like Ben Affleck's ass, like on BBS?
Well, what Eli say? We're going to see Cyborg play football for 20 minutes. Right?
Oh yeah, that was it. That's the thing. I've read all the notes. I know what the movie's going to be. Anybody that's been following stuff know what the movie's going to be, and that's another reason why I'm scared of what Zack Snyder's going to do. Because everybody's excited for what they've seen and do. Oh, Dark Side's in the movie. Maybe. We also have.
You ain't going to be able to see Dark Side because Zack Snyder's going to cover it up with a bunch of explosions and strobe lights and debris flying on the screen.
Yeah,
because that's what he does for 20 minutes.
You're going to see Omega beams and that's it, and people just lose their shit over that. That's about it.
Oh, that's all they're going to show is a dusty cloud with Omega beams coming out of it, and the fanboys are going to.
That's enough for people to lose their shit.
Be like, we told you. Did you see the Omega beams?
The Snyder Cut lives. All this shit. So
it's the ending of BVS where it's just crap on the screen. It's like I can't see shit. Like what's going on? Is somebody punching somebody, or is that a building falling? I can't tell.
But does it matter if it's good? Isn't this still a victory?
You know what? It doesn't matter. That's the thing. It doesn't matter, and that's the reason why streaming is the future right now. Because honestly, HBO and AT&T and Warner Brothers doesn't really care what the Zack Snyder Cut does, monetarily wise, as long as it gets people to sign up for the service. That's all they care about. That's why it would never come to the theater, because they're not going to let Zack Snyder release a 4-hour cut in the movies. Not going to happen.
No one's going to do that.
No one wants to watch that as much as they say that it's good. Like everybody who says the director's cut of BVS is better.
And it's not. That's the thing. They keep saying it is, but it's not.
I don't have a problem with those movies, man. I mean,
my thing is that the director's cut of BVS is not that much better of a movie. It's like adds some scenes here and there, but it's not like it rewrites the movie. Lex Luthor's still Lex Luthor. Doomsday is still Doomsday. It's the same movie in the third act.
Grandma's peach tea is still.
He's still pissed in a jar. That doesn't change.
People are more excited because they won their side of the argument than they're going to be happy after they watch the whole movie.
Well, that's the thing. We can't tell if they're happy legitimately or not. Of course, they're going to say they're happy no matter what the hell comes out, because, like you said, they won. They won.
Right. It's the victory lap right now. But here's the thing. Here's the dangerous part of it. They have this imaginary movie in their mind right now, or what they think is
right, and they're going to be let down.
That's exactly what's going to happen, because all this stuff Zack Snyder has been promised them, he's going to break their hearts at the end of the day.
They'll never admit it.
Yeah, every time. I don't mind the original Justice League. No, it's not the greatest movie, but I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it for what it was. And every time I said this online, oh, you stupid piece of shit, you're an idiot.
I bet you like Star Wars too.
Oh, yeah, that's how it is. It's like, that's why I ain't apologizing for shit either.
Man.
I got your fucking apologies right here.
Eli always says about Star Wars, I don't give a damn as long as it's Star Wars. If it's a good movie, awesome. If it's not, hey, I still got to see Star Wars. I don't give a shit. I still got to see Batman and Superman do pretty damn cool shit for a while.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Solo sucked, but I still had a good time watching it. Millennium Falcon fly around.
I like
and that's but who gives a shit? Release the Solo cut. I mean, the Lord Miller
Solo
cut.
2.
That actually exists still.
Right, that's the thing. Like, they've actually did, and then fired those guys at the end of the day.
Yeah, there is a Lord Miller cut of Solo somewhere with what's his face from The Wire as.
But guess what? Disney didn't give a shit.
Disney ain't bitches. Disney we got a successful streaming service.
Like, you can make as many petitions as you want about Solo 2 and the Lord and Miller cut. They don't exist to us.
We'll still get Captain Marvel 2. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
We're still getting it. It's coming.
Oh, man. Can we move on past the Snyder cut? We've said all we got to say about that.
Oh, we can look at
more
comments.
Cuts. We need to talk about more cuts.
I forget there's.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's the thing.
Guys, you noobs. Oh, wow, there's comments here.
Yeah, I'm clicking. Man. Yeah, I'm clicking them right now. I'm clicking the comments. Boogie, you can't
Fuck
click
this
the
TV show.
No,
shit.
I can't produce
We
your
want you
show
to
for
produce.
you.
Look, can you please produce
Come on,
the show
Boogie,
for
produce
me?
my show for me.
If I had access, I would. I'm just a guest. I'm just sitting here, man.
We didn't get half the stuff that was shown in the trailers. That's what Henry's saying. Yeah.
We
I
did.
don't remember those trailers.
But you
honestly.
got those
I remember
trailers,
trailers,
though.
a lot of-
That's
and
what
you
I
know what?
said. The trailers were the Snyder Cut.
That's the thing. There's a lot of trailers in LA. There's a lot of things altered. But here's the thing. Not only are we getting the Snyder cut, we're also, before we get to that, we're also getting to the Suicide Squad cut.
The Ayer cut.
That's a real thing. Here's the thing. Somebody asked David Ayer, was there going to be a Suicide cut? AT&T themselves tweeted, wait and see, or something like, we'll see what happens. So if the Snyder cut is a hit, the Ayer cut is coming. You're going to get a 3-hour Suicide Squad movie also.
If it's a hit or if it makes money.
Exactly. And they'll do that on the streaming service too. But I saw a tweet where after the Snyder Cut news was confirmed, the special effects company tweeted out, yeah, we're doing the special effects for the Snyder Cut and for the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. And I don't know how you going to fix that movie. How the hell you fix Suicide Squad?
They're going to give people what they want. They're going to
More
give
Joker.
people more Joker. That's all they're going to do. More Joker.
A different Joker.
Splicing some of them parody porn into the movie. That's what we really want to see.
Right. Because people are pissed because all they wanted to see was the Joker. They went in there, they saw 5 minutes of Joker. That's why people are pissed. So all they're going to do is just insert more Joker footage. They do that. That's going to, so you got a Snyder cut, you got a Suicide Squad cut. That's going to get people to go subscribe to HBO Max. None of this stuff will ever hit the theaters. It's only going to be streaming only. You may get a Blu-ray. Maybe.
And yes. Ninja Fingers talk about the cut, director, the Donner cut of Superman, all the different versions of Blade Runner. Of course, you got 1,000 versions of Apocalypse Now. Yeah. Yes, these things do exist. And yes, it is interesting for fans to.
But it's different because those movies, they didn't rely on special effects.
It's different because the people who want to watch the Apocalypse Now redo don't go around on the internet saying we fucking won.
Exactly.
You know?
Those don't feel like marketing ploys. The Ayer cut, the Snyder cut, it feels like they're taking advantage of a marketing opportunity. You know what I mean? And more power to them. Go for it. Do whatever you want. I'm just saying, it feels to me like you're being set up for a fail.
Well, as long as they get your money, that's all they care.
And it also this is a major corporation admitting that their executives failed.
Well, no, you got to remember, after Justice League failed, they fired all those guys.
Yeah, but then they did it again. Then they screwed up again.
That's true.
That's Warner Brothers, man. That's
exactly. It's a bold strategy, though. I mean, we're going to put out shitty movies and then let everybody get excited about the director's cut and then actually give you the movie we should have done the first time.
I wish I cared as much as you all did.
In another way. Yeah, I don't really care.
I just go watch the movie, and if I have fun, I'm like Eli. If I have fun, I walk out, I'm like, oh, that was a fun movie. Most of the DC movies I watch them in the theater, I buy them, I watch them once when I get home, I'm like, oh, that's fun, and then it sits in the closet for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I want and
I agree with you. At the end of the day, it's still going to be something that we'll watch,
Yeah.
Bad, good. We'll be entertained for the time we watched it.
I want the 3-hour Ghostbusters cut that Paul Feig talked about.
It is nice. I think, given what Zack Snyder did go through some hard shit, death in the family, that sucks. And I think it's awesome that he gets to go back and finish what he started. That's pretty cool.
And he's got to feel some vindication because they literally brought in another director that they already knew was successful on superhero movies, kind of save it. He was shitting all over his vision, and now everybody was like, "No, we want to see your vision," and they're going to do it. He's got to feel pretty damn good.
But they threw Joss Whedon under the bus with that movie.
Yeah, and it ain't his fault. They said, "Okay, come in, finish this movie. You got 5 months to get this shit done and score it, rewrite it, direct a bunch of new scenes, CGI super stash off his face and, and get it out there. Under 2 hours. Yeah, they said it had to be under 2 hours and shit. I mean, he was fucked from the get-go.
He was fucked from the get-go. Like at the beginning of Justice League, watch it in the credit scene, you'll see this homeless bum, you say directed by or written by Joss Whedon, and he just holding the bum saying, "I tried."
Does J.J. Abrams get the same sort of pass for the Last Jedi? That's the last Star Wars movies, right?
Should we bitch and get the prequels remade? Because that would be.
You're talking about Rise.
The people are coming that's going to want this. The Last Jedi non-canon.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Rise of Skywalker, though, right? You're talking about Rise of
That's the thing.
Skywalker.
Yeah,
What
Rise
was
of
that?
Skywalker. the
Yeah,
last
because you
one.
were written into a corner. How do you get out of that?
Exactly. Wasn't Joss Whedon in the same sort of position with him?
Well, not really, because at least J.J. Abrams had a whole movie to himself. Where
That's
Joss
true.
Whedon had to take half of what another movie was already done
Yeah.
and try to rewrite it to appease, the corporate executives. So he was fucked. There's nothing he could have done. And honestly, I don't even know if any Hollywood. He burned bridges at Marvel. Can't go back to Marvel. He's basically fired from DC because they blame Justice League all on him. He was a sacrificial lamb. So I don't know what he can do now.
Sit back and count his money, probably.
Buffy, man, bring back Buffy, yo.
Yeah.
No more petitions. No more bringing
Bring back Firefly.
Nope.
20 fucking
Yeah, there you
years
go.
ago and bring
Hey,
back
and that-
Firefly.
This is kind of like Firefly because Firefly was canceled. The
Yeah.
fans rallied and they got that movie.
That's
And
true.
nobody saw it.
I like
Yeah,
that movie.
no
It
one
was
saw
okay.
And that's the thing. Like, we do all this shit. We campaign and get this shit done. Then when it happens, nobody goes see the shit.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Because the argument's way more fun than watching the movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Gomer's
what's
gonna be
wrong
like-
with people.
yeah. Gomer's gonna be like, I'm gonna wait till all the episodes of Justice League Snyder Cut drop on HBO, and then I'm gonna get that free weekly subscription.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
pay for
Done.
shit.
Yep,
And then I'm done. Yep.
100%.
It's
At
true.
least you
That's
gotta
what
do
I
that.
did
A lot
for
of people just
Watchmen.
bootleg
That's what I
shit.
did for Watchmen. And that's the best damn shit I've ever seen, man.
Just watch it one time and that's it.
Yeah. I may
Darth
buy it. I may
Jar
buy
Jar,
that shit.
yeah.
Okay. No Snyder Cut. We got out of the system. Paul Feig's 3.5 hour Ghostbusters cut that nobody asked for.
Bring it. Bring on the 3.5 hour Ghostbusters.
I'll watch it. I'll be honest with you.
I'll watch it too.
I'll watch it. I want to see this train.
My
You know
kids
what?
love that damn movie for some reason, man.
Josh Trank. What did Josh Trank say about his Fantastic Four thing?
He said no need.
Oh,
He
I
said
wanna see
no.
it. I want to see it. I know it's a train wreck. That's what I want to see it.
It's so bad. I don't even
I
like admitting that.
want a
exists.
movie made about a movie about him making that movie. You like Tropic Thunder with like they made fun of Apocalypse. I want somebody to make a movie like that where they're making a superhero movie where this just asshole director just beats the shit out of his actors, tears up his trailer.
Yeah, Hearts of Darkness, Fantastic Four.
Right, something like that. Somebody's gonna make that movie. So Josh Trank might as well sell the rights now to do that shit. Oh man. Okay, can we pass that?
Disney
Yeah.
owns that shit now,
Okay. All
right?
right.
Disney
Right.
owns that Fan Four Stick movie now.
Who owns it?
Doesn't Disney own that Fan
Oh
Four
yeah,
Stick
yeah. They
movie
own the
now?
movie now. They're
I'm
gonna
just
make
saying,
sure that
that's
shit-
weird, man. That's
They're
gonna
gonna
go in
make
the
sure that
fucking
never-
vault, and you'll never see it again.
You will never see
It's
it
gonna be
again.
like
That movie just not
Cinderella.
exist
Sonic.
Or
we
a
can sing
song in
about
the
him.
South, man, and Fan Four Stick. You'll
anymore.
never
I want to
see
say
that
something about
shit
Song of the
again.
South. I want to, they try to bury Song of the South. Okay, how many people have went to Disney World? Okay,
It was forever ago, but yeah.
I went to the
Okay.
one in Florida.
yeah,
okay.
30
So
years ago.
that's Disney World. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
Splash Mountain. Everybody been on Splash Mountain?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
No, I
from
don't
Song
think
of the South.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Is
the
it?
whole. Yeah. So they
I
try
don't
to
even know what you're talking about. I'm so lost.
Honestly, I don't even feel like explaining it.
Yeah.
It's
Song
cool
of the
if we
Song
don't
of the
talk about
South,
it.
if you get it, it's not really worth it. It's
Song of the South.
it's
It
bad.
exists,
don't-
but it doesn't. It only exists
Exactly.
if it makes the money.
Right.
Yeah.
It exists in certain ways to make them money. So yeah, I don't know how we got. Let's just get away from Song of the South.
They
We
cut
got
out Daryl Hannah's ass from Splash, but there was
Yeah.
not enough editing to fix Song of the South for Disney Plus. There was not enough.
It does not exist.
We did not have enough special effects to fix Song of the South.
We're paying slaves now at Disney.
Oh shit!
Oh shit. Okay.
Uh,
No, Snyder. I don't know how we got from Snyder Cut to Song of the South, but let's move past that. Okay. Look, I don't talk briefly about Stargirl because I never get a chance to talk about it again. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that saw it because I'm the only person I know that ever watched the CW. But
that's
You are right.
I am right. I know I am. Okay. So here's what I want to briefly talk about. Because Stargirl came on both the CW and the DCU app.
There's two different versions too. I heard.
Yeah, the DCU app is 10 minutes longer. So it's
weird.
nothing like significant. It's just like extra scenes here and there, stuff like that. So nothing that you just have to see,
Yeah.
Jeff Johns wrote this. His production company produced the whole thing. Stargirl is his first DC creation. So he's all over his character. Matter of fact, Stargirl is based on like his sister. So he loves the JSA. And now here's the thing about Stargirl. I do want to say this. People are gonna say it's woke and it's SJW.
Let's put this one.
Be-
It's on the CW. Of course
How
they
do
are.
we put one on?
Right, but here's the thing: they're
Legally
only
has to do
following
it.
what the comics did because so they're gonna have a Mexican Wildcat, they're gonna have a Black Doctor Midnight. I can guarantee you, Iron Man's gonna be gay. I'll bet anybody on that right now. Now, here's the thing: people are gonna say, "Oh, they're changing all our characters." They actually did this back in the '80s
Yeah.
when they did the post-crisis. They changed all the characters back then, so they're just taking those characters, and making them now.
Man,
So
they should put Jeff Johns in charge of the movies, dude. Like a Kevin Feige kind of guy.
I
Does he
mean,
want to do it? Does he want to do it though? I don't.
If they pay him enough
Well,
money, hell yeah. he'll do
Wonder
it.
Woman is under his production company. Like the Wonder Woman '84 is under his production company.
See?
Yeah.
That's gonna be
So,
great.
and I know he
They
had a lot
had
of
him.
hand in. Yeah.
Yeah, he was ahead of some shit for a while until like Justice League.
When Justice League happened, so they didn't. He was the only person that didn't get fired, but they just kind of moved him away because I think Joss Whedon was. I mean, Jeff Johns was the guy that brought Joss Whedon in.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, we're not going to fire you, but this doesn't look good on your resume right now.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that survived the cut, but they basically put him aside. So he got his own production company. He's got Stargirl. He's got what that Three Jokers, that shit.
Yeah, that's
You
coming.
know, Yeah, so
It
that's
looks
all.
good though. It looks okay.
I like it, but everybody at DC wants to pretend like it's another thing. It's over here.
Well, it's Black Label.
But it's Black Label. But at first he put it in his,
It was based off that whole Mobius chair where Batman was like,
which was in the New 52.
exactly. It's so weird, dude. Whatever.
That just
DC
feel like-
don't know what the hell they're doing in terms of
It
comics.
doesn't matter.
Like
It
on
doesn't
either side,
matter.
on the comics or the movies.
They don't
There's
know.
500 Batman comics. It's
Oh,
like, why
shit.
can't it just
And
be
they keep
over
throwing
here?
Batman in everything. You don't have to throw Batman in everything.
No, they
Like that
think they
Batman
do.
and Outsiders book. He don't need to be in that book.
He doesn't need to
But
be
he
in it, but I
doesn't
like
need to
that.
be in it.
I like the book too, but
No,
actually
but the
did
team
catch
is the
up with it.
highlight of the book. It's
Yeah.
good.
Right,
It's
but-
good.
Yeah.
But they don't have to call it Batman and
No,
Outsiders.
just call it the Outsiders.
Right. Or Black Lightning and Outsiders or
It's
something.
not gonna sell.
Yeah,
if they
that's
call
what
it
it
Black
is.
Lightning and the
But that's the thing.
Outsiders.
That's why they need to start developing characters that can sell. I understand it's a quick book to put Batman's name on everything.
Yeah.
But you don't have to because you're shortchanging the other characters that you could sell. That's all I'm saying. Like the Justice League Dark movie, Batman did not need to be in that shit.
Yeah.
Even the dude was looking at Batman. What the hell?
No
You know,
shit.
he
Constantine's
didn't
like,
be there.
damn it again with the
But
Batman.
should you put him in that book? Because then people that wouldn't have picked up a Black Lightning book are now reading and maybe like that character, and it gives that character a chance.
I think I think that's a gamble you have to take. I think you have to develop your other characters so they can stand on their own. Yes, you're not going to sell as many characters with Black Lightning and Outsiders versus Batman and Outsiders. But
Yeah.
if that book does catch on and gains on audience, eventually Black Lightning will have his own branding where you can put him on a
Sure.
book and he can sell.
Gomer
I mean, you just
disagrees.
can't just put Batman in
I
everything.
don't know, man.
I would have
It's a
bought it
gamble. It's a
regardless
gamble.
because Brian Hill's writing it, so I would have picked it up. But
Right,
I don't
that's-
know that a lot of people would have. So I don't know.
Right, that's the thing. Like, how many issues is the book on now? Like 16?
I think 12 comes out this
12?
week.
Okay.
If you want to make characters that are underutilized more utilized, you give them to creators who people will read. If Bendis didn't jump on one of the Trinity characters, if he jumped on Black Lightning, people would be reading Black Lightning if
Sure.
Bendis was on it. But he picks up
Sure.
Superman. Of course, people were
Of course
already
you're gonna
reading
pick Superman.
You know?
I mean, who would turn down Superman?
Well, sure, but then he picks up Legion. People are big Legion fans. He wants Legion. Then he creates his own characters. I'm just saying. What do you want? You want Black Lightning to be popular again, or do you not want him to do Naomi? You know what I
And
mean?
that's, why can't both?
Exactly. But he wants to write 2 Superman books. I get it, but Superman's going to
He
sell.
wants to
what
ruin
Superman
2
sells.
Superman books, is what you
Either
meant
way,
to say.
it doesn't matter who is on Batman. Batman is going to sell what Batman sells every damn month anyway. You should put some just shit writer on Batman. It doesn't matter. I could
Still
write
gonna sell.
Batman.
Yeah, it's still
and
gonna
it's
sell.
going to sell. It's just weird.
It won't sell as much. And let's be honest with you. Like, if you look at the top 10 list of DC's top 10, it's just Batman.
It is.
So you don't want to put just a shit right on Batman.
But you could, and the sales are still going to be there, and you're going to gain those sales. If Tom King is writing Black Lightning, it's going to sell better than
True.
if he wasn't. I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, yeah,
I
you put Tom
do
King
agree
on
with
it,
you,
yeah.
but
They did put. Yul Carter says they did put a bad writer on Batman.
Wait, who's the bad?
James
we're not
Tynion?
talking about Tom King. Over.
Yeah, that's what
We're
he's
not,
talking
come
about.
on.
That's
I
what
like-
he's talking
That's
about.
that's for
man.
ComicCast. We love Tom King over here.
I like his Batman. Like I get yelled at when I say, guys, Tom King was on our list for Writer of the Year when he
it was
started
good
that
for half
Batman
the run. The second half of the run.
It was up and down.
bad.
It was up and down. You know.
It does fall off at the end, though. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Tom King knew it with the writings on the wall. Let me just wrap this up and just get it out of here. You know.
Well, they
But-
kicked him off the book before he finished it. He's got to
Right.
do that Batman Catwoman book now. To
There was
finish
something
his
behind the
whole
scenes
knocked-up
going on with that,
Catwoman
right.
story.
Yeah, there was something going on behind the scenes with that. But I mean, we
That's what
can't knock the
Batman
other
needs
good
another
stories he did
kid.
have with him. So
Batman
that's
does
my
not
whole-
need another child. Okay.
Of course he does. It's gonna be Huntress in the 5G universe.
That's a different podcast, dude. 5G is not happening. It's done. It died when Didio was
It may get
kicked out of escorted out of the building by security, is what I heard.
I wish I had that Beverly Hills Cop gif where he got thrown through the window.
Yeah, Didio
He was escorted.
removed from DC Comics. His last words were 5G is gonna be awesome. No, it's not, Dan.
All right, can we move to the main event?
Oh, let's get ready to run.
Let's get to it. I know we've just been jamming all around the place. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do.
Go.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the comments. I know the comments are going crazy right now, but we are going to. This is where we actually talk about the main book of the week. This is the book that all of us have read, and if you have not read it, why the fuck are you here in a comic book podcast? I don't know. This is the book that you need to read. Don't just say I watched the movie. No, that does not count. You have to read the book to find out where this shit came from. So what we're going to talk about first is, see if I can get my stuff ready. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see these special effects. Eli, I've been working on my special effects.
Here we go. The Snyder Cut.
Boom. We're doing
Leroy
that.
cut.
Yeah, here we go. So we got Civil War, so we're going to start off with that. Yeah, so basically, let's just paint the whole picture about what Civil War is. I think we need to start this. This book is written by Mark Millar and the writer Steve Niven. McNiven. That's his name. I'll let you guys handle the letters and all this shit like that. Anyway, what I want to talk about is that Mark Millar doesn't write comics.
Right.
He writes screenplays. He writes movie drafts. That's all the fuck he ever does. And that's what this is too. He was writing a movie pitch that Marvel will eventually turn into a movie later on, and that's what he does with all his other stuff later on. So what we're doing now is that we're going to review Civil War and want to know why Civil War was even made. One reason it was made because they no longer had the rights to X-Men.
Okay.
And they needed something to fill the gap of X-Men. They needed some big crossover event to make the Avengers a thing. They had Avengers Dissemble. They had Mighty Avengers, New Avengers, whatever Avengers were doing at the time. And now you got the big New Avengers. Exactly. So you got this big crossover in 2005 supposed to make the Avengers a thing. Like, okay, we don't need X-Men. We can do an event.
And you say that, let me stop you there because it's a very important thing that you say. They also didn't have movie control of Spider-Man at the time. Who did Bendis put on the Avengers?
He put Spider-Man on
Wolverine
there.
and Spider-Man.
But here's the thing. I think they still have like Marvel still own the merchandising of Spider-Man?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So they
they still wanted the character to be hot, but they also needed to make the Avengers a viable product for the screen.
Right. So that's the thing. So that's why Spider-Man is still here, because they can still make money off Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of these guys are just like the X-Men is like, we can't make money off the X-Men.
They fall into the background a lot.
Yeah, like they're there, but they're not there.
Yeah.
They gets worse with them later on until they finally buy Fox. But the thing about Civil War, and here's the thing. Honestly, this whole thing about Civil War is actually a plot that they used with the X-Men back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because it was called the Mutual Registration Act back then. Matter of fact, it was the plot of the first X-Men movie.
Yes.
Yeah, where they tried to ban all mutants or have all mutants register and things like that. So they decided to retool that. I'm not saying they ripped it off. They retooled it. There's some different things in there.
It was a lot different.
I read The Road to Civil War. I know that wasn't part of what we're doing, but
I
love that Xavier basically sat down with Tony and said, "This is what we have to deal with. Now you're going through registration like we've had to deal with."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm out. I don't want anything to do with this. You can deal with it." So I thought that I like that.
And the mutants in the whole Marvel universe at this time had just gone through the decimation after House of M. So there weren't many mutants left, considering, Genosha was dead. Everything was done. They were in no place to really put themselves out there, to help. Right. Which I think was part of it. Leading up to this, the Illuminati had also sent the Hulk away to Planet Hulk. Whatever side Hulk picks is going to be the winning side.
Right.
The Thor moment in this with Ragnarok, Thor being dead. is a huge aspect, that they an angle anyway that they play on in this. So everything.
And the thing is, like we all read Bendis' New Avengers run. His timetable was all laid out. So now that we know the whole timetable, we see why this stuff was done. Why Hulk was sent off into space at the time he was sent off. Why they acted when Thor acted. Why the Civil War happened. Because basic secret invasion.
Exactly. And if you read the first page of Bendis' New Avengers run, it has Jarvis with a green handkerchief in his pocket.
Right. So all
symbolizing
this
that he was the Skrull way back then before. And that's what Secret Invasion is.
Right.
Basically.
I mean, but at the same time, like when you read the story, we don't know that at the time. And honestly, if you don't know that, I don't think it affects the story.
No, I don't think so either. It really makes the hindsight being 2020 with Tony second guessing himself in Secret Invasion with everything that he did. It makes it a lot more, hard hitting, but yeah, you don't need any of that to enjoy this in and of itself. My angle on this is politics in the United States hitting a point where everybody had a side. And that's happened before. It's almost like a timeless story, but it's sort of the basic human dilemma, of my freedom for my security. And that's one of the overarching themes, I think.
That's one of the overarching things. But another thing, a lot of times people do put freedom versus security. I think it's actually another angle you can take to it. I think it's a lot to do with gun control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I kept seeing that too.
Right, because I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a panel. Let's go to this panel right here. This is one of the big panels. For those that don't know what happened in Civil War, the whole thing, the reason it got kicked off is because the New Warriors, like 4 of them wanted to do a reality show, just go around just beating up people. They found some guys in Stanford, Connecticut.
Hey,
thought they could take them.
If you'll click on my comment real quick, you'll be able to see the whole panel.
Oh,
yeah, it'll go away.
Click on my comment and it'll disappear.
Okay, look, I'm a rookie at this.
Sorry, I'm just.
Okay, hold on. It's coming. Let's see.
Training. You're in training. It's okay.
I'm in training. Yeah, I'm getting hazed right now. Boom. Oh, is it there?
Yeah, click my comment.
Click his comment in the.
I should have just not said anything and just let it go.
Click
this
your
is all
comment.
my fault.
The way you click the comments to get them up on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Click his comment and his comment will leave the screen.
Okay, I'm looking. It's so many comments. I can't see his comment. Oh, here we go. Found it. Okay, found it.
Oh God, no! Hit that one again. Hit the same one again. Hit the same one again.
Hold on. Okay.
There now. Oh, now you got that big freaking banner covering it.
Okay. I can see it. Nobody else can see it. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's go. Anyway, here's what happened. What happened. Stanford, Connecticut. They fought this guy, and it turns out he was a Captain Marvel villain named Nitro. He was like, "No, I'm way stronger than you think I am. I'm not one of these flunkies you fought before." So he blows himself up. And when he blows himself up, let's see. I'm gonna do this one more time. Let's try it.
Here, it's right here.
Fuck! Eli, you gotta get it kicked out with this digital shit. Okay. Anyway, so Stanford, Connecticut. I'm just hitting all kind of buttons. But the point I'm trying to make is that they blew up a school.
Yeah.
So
like 800 kids died or something.
800 kids died. It wasn't just a school; it was like a whole neighborhood, stuff like that. But the point was, they made a point that a bunch of kids died. So even around 2005, there was crazy mass shootings going around, especially school shootings happening left and right. And that's what happened. And you can make parallels with all this. You can make parallels with school shooting. This is 4 years after 9/11.
Yep.
So when this tragedy happened, all of a sudden the government starts cracking down and stuff like that.
The Patriot Act, sure.
The Patriot Act, it's all there, because they want to have full disclosure on every single superhero, whether you have a secret identity or not. They want to know who you are. They want your identity exposed, So yes, you can say that it was the Patriot Act because the government wants to, get involved in what you're doing. But with gun control, the reason I'm saying it because the superheroes have always been metaphors for like weapons, guns, things like that. Even though they don't use them, most of them. But in this situation, something happens because their powers get out of control, and they want to have regulations on the people with these powers. Same thing with gun control, just in case of something happens. And it even comes to. When we get deep into the story, it even comes a parallel with police brutality.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think we just jump into it. We're not going to break this thing down. Like I said, I didn't expect us to just break it down. We're just going to talk about it and just jump from point to point. But one of the points was when Goliath died. I like to call him Black Goliath. That's me. That's mine. But when he died, Tony kept trying to justify. Was it okay for him to die? Because, yes, crazy clone Thor killed Bill Foster. But it's no different than when a police officer is in the field and he kills somebody by accident. That's how Tony rationalized.
So let's start the argument now. Who is Team Tony and who is Team Cap?
I'm Team Iron Man.
I'm Team Iron Man.
I'm Team Iron Man.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm
God!
Team
I knew
Tony.
this was going to happen, Eli.
What?
Team Cap.
Are we choosing sides?
Yeah,
You had to.
Okay. That was
All right.
the
Well,
whole thing.
I tend to lean on Cap, but I see both arguments, and I think that's
sure,
the point.
sure.
That's the point of the story. But
I
I'll
love
get
that
into
you said
later.
that.
too.
I love that you said that because when we were talking about having this argument, we were talking about it after ComicCast Sunday, and me and Gomer were like, "Oh, whose side?" And he's like, "Team Iron Man, right?" And I'm like, "No, Team Cap." And then he's like, "Oh, this is going to be fun." And so like I'm thinking about this argument we're going to have, and then I'm reading like one of the other things I read was the Fantastic Four tie-ins. And this is all about Ben Grimm because he has that same mindset that Eli had. Like I started sympathizing with him because I see things on both sides that are right, and that's why it's really hard to really plant your flag and choose a side. But we get called fence riders all the time because of that.
And I think that's the point of the story. I mean, it's not about which side you're on. The point of the story is their failure to reach that compromise.
Sure, without a doubt.
And them not finding a common ground is what leads to this war and which leads to all this destruction. So, and I think that's going on a very current topic going on in our political climate
I
today.
think it's always been though. I think that's why
yeah.
it's a timeless sort of thing. The lack of diplomacy, the failure of diplomacy leads to just everything terrible that happened. I think there's also sort of a theme here about the paradigm shift of the old and the new. And Leroy brought up, this happened after 9/11 and 9/11 had sunk in. And afterwards, it was sort of things were never going to be the same. Things are always different. After a big event like that, World War II was probably the last time, something like that happened. And Cap is just part of that older era, unwilling to sort of move society forward into what it needs to be in order to be this new thing. In one of the tie-ins, Frontline number 11, Sally Floyd, who's a reporter, asked Cap, about basically points him out for fighting for an ideal that no longer represents what America actually is. And Captain America sort of lives in this dream world. He's naive.
And even some people on his own team say that.
Exactly.
Like he's stuck in the past. He doesn't want to change because he's stuck in the past.
And him going against the will of the American people by breaking the laws is the antithesis of patriotism.
And that's my whole thing. Like he says he's representing the American dream, but the will of the American people got that act passed. Like Marion Sharp. We got to talk about Marion Sharp because he's actually a big player in this. Honestly, she's almost like the Baron Z. Like Baron Zemo was behind the scenes in the movies, moving things. She's like that in this book.
I don't know if it's to that extent because she's
really
actually
is.
represented by Alfie, what's her name? In
Alfred Woodard. But in the movie, Alfred Woodard just shows up, gone, and that's it. But in the book, Marion Sharp, almost every time you see Tony Stark at a press conference doing stuff, she's back there.
It's when he's having his worst moments. It's when he's at the first funeral. It's when he's at Goliath's funeral.
Right.
It's at the end when he wins and he's not really sure if he's won or not. She shows up again. And
because when he buried Goliath, he's like, I think I did the wrong thing. I think I fucked up. She shows up with the Iron Man doll saying, "This is my son that died in the blast.
Yeah,
you were his favorite hero."
Now is she the representation of the will of the American people, or is she the representation of Tony Stark's guilt, or are they one and the same?
That maybe because the thing is, she got the movement going. She started the movement, and she got the American people wanting them. Something has to be done with these superheroes because they're out of control.
Yeah.
So you can look at it both ways. You can look at it is because anytime he does feel guilty, she pops up, and she like, "No, you're on the right track. All the things you're doing. No, this has to be done."
But when you're doing that, when Tony's doing his thing, what he thinks and feels is right. At what point does he cross the line? Because you're talking about Goliath, and is that sacrifice worth it? Well, in Tony's mind, I think everything's worth it. He's going and getting villains.
Justify the means.
Right. He's going and picking up villains for his team.
I have varying degrees of issues with what Tony did. Cloning your best friend? No, I'm sorry. You should not clone Thor.
And that's what I was going to think about. Okay, let's talk about clone Thor for a second. Was it ever revealed if the Skrulls fucked with him?
No, I don't think so.
That would have made sense. because it doesn't make any
It
sense.
would
Like
have.
that. Hank Pym, Reed Richards, and Tony Stark, and they don't know how to make a clone robot that doesn't kill people.
They're arguing about it at the end, like, "Oh, I thought you checked the switch to make sure. Oh, I
It
thought
would
you
have just
checked the
made
switch."
sense if
I
a
thought the
scroll
safety.
fucked with.
I thought the safety was on.
Exactly. Yeah. But him tagging villains and adding villains to the Avengers have done that since the beginning.
Right.
Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch,
And they
Quicksilver,
even mentioned
all
that.
villains.
They mentioned that
right?
in the
The
set.
offenders, we always give offenders a second, second chance.
So I see that as a positive. Now, a negative zone prison,
Moves right past
Yes.
my argument.
War.
Moves
Why
right
didn't
past
you
it.
have that before? Why
Let's
didn't
just
you
let
have a
people
negative
out of
zone
prison
for
and
a
make them
decade?
police officers, and let's just move forward. Gomer, that is not just an easy. Well, people deserve second chances. Well, sure, if they murdered 40 people, let's just let them out and give them a badge. It's okay.
You're talking, but you're arguing.
You skimmed right through that.
did
No,
they
but
do
you're
that?
arguing
Okay.
for a guy who said, "Nah, the Punisher could come on the team. That's fine." He's
But
the
he only
same
did it
thieving
after what Tony
murderer
did.
that these guys
He was
are.
What
reacting
happened?
to Tony.
What
Tony
happened?
Stark put nanobots in them.
But what happened as soon as Punisher comes in, guns a-blazing?
Yes,
He's
Captain
out.
America has another mental breakdown and kicks his ass.
That's because Captain America was going to hire some thugs, criminals, and what does Punisher do? You know, he takes care of. He says, "Hey, you're starting to be hypocrites, just like the other side, because they were
Exactly.
hiring."
Right, but-
they hired
okay,
the
but the
thugs.
thing is-
but Cap was
Pun-
already a hypocrite for bringing
Right. That's
Frank
what they
onto
say
the
in the
team.
book. Punisher's like Tony is recruiting murderers and killers, and they're like, "What do you think you are?"
Yeah, dude.
So you can't say that, Punisher. You're basically one step away from these guys. When they're trying to make these regulations on superheroes, they're talking about the Punisher.
Yes. Yeah, forget the New Warriors.
Right.
The Punisher been murdering people for decades, and they've been like,
Right.
People
Let
that
him
deserve
go.
it. People
Give
that
him
And
a
deserve
war
it.
that's what
machine
Tony's
armor.
point was. He was like, when we had these regulations for the Avengers, nothing's going to change. We're going to do the same thing. The only people we're weeding out are these, amateurs, these psychos out here that think they're superheroes. We're getting rid of those guys. But the Avengers going to just move along like nothing ever happened.
And it's funny to me that Captain America, the guy who has literally been taking orders from the government his entire life on who he should go punch, now suddenly has a problem with the government telling everyone else who they need to punch.
Well, see, Comic Cap is a little different because, Movie Cap didn't come to the realization to the Winter Soldier.
Sure.
But Comic Cap came to the realization at a very, very specific time. And that was Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's a sliding timeline.
Yeah.
But it was when Richard Nixon finds out that, I've been taking orders from him the whole time, and this guy's been doing this, and that. I can't follow the government as blindly as I had before. And Cap
And
never
I'll
been
also
there.
say it's within a year of Civil War being done. I think it's a year where Captain America himself is in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay? Don't they put him in charge right after Secret Invasion ends and they take
No, Norman Osborn becomes
No, after they take Osborn out after Siege.
right,
Captain America
after Osborn is out, then they put Cap in.
So
Right.
then Cap is the one. What is really going on,
But
Cap?
see, that's the thing.
Make
Okay,
up your mind, old man.
what Tony? Here's where Tony fucked up. Tony fucked up because he didn't put all his cards on the table. Yes, he was trying to put regulations on superheroes, but he didn't tell the superheroes that he was going to be in charge of the regulations. They thinking that the government was going to be in charge of them, not knowing that he was trying to be in charge of the government.
Well, wouldn't Tony be the better guy to be in charge? He's been the leader of the Avengers before.
Right, but he didn't tell them that.
Oh, yeah.
Does
So
Tony,
they
does
didn't-
Tony think he's right? Does he think he's right the whole time? Do you
I
believe
think
that?
No,
Tony
he does.
is
He
torn.
doesn't.
I think
He
he's
doesn't
torn.
think he's right.
I don't think he does either because when he talks,
because when he's not, because in one panel he talks to She-Hulk like, "Are we doing the right thing?" And he tells her, "Yes, we are." Cap is wrong, but when he's in the room by himself talking
Him
to
and
Happy
Happy.
Hogan,
Yeah.
he says, "I think I fucked up."
Yeah.
And even
But
when he's
he'll
talking to
he'll tell
Peter-
Happy that.
like after Peter Parker takes the mask off and he's talking to him, and he's like, you really think that you can go back to your regular life? Like you're done. You can't do that. He's like, this isn't even about you. It's like it's not even about the heroes anymore. It's about It's like taking up your side. Like
Yeah, I mean,
don't-
it was, but Tony wasn't wrong there. Saying that Aunt May and Mary Jane are going to be in danger if you leave.
But he was. the
That's
one
what
that
I'm
talked him into
saying.
that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Tony knew he was wrong.
Right. And he knew this would happen because he knew I had to get Spider-Man on my side. If Spider-Man ever turns on him, I can play this card against him.
And that's
Sure.
exactly what it did as soon as it happened.
Again, with all the decisions Tony made, I don't know if he quite manipulated Peter Parker.
Oh, he definitely
Take off
did.
his
He
mask.
definitely did.
Oh,
Come
you're speaking
on.
like a true
He wasn't-
politician.
He wasn't twisting Spider-Man's arm to go out there and take his mask off. He was telling him if he did, I'll make sure.
Did
Megan...
you read the same book that I read?
I know, I did, but I don't
When
think
he was selling, he gave him a sales pitch.
He
the whole
did.
time.
He did. Well, he's a businessman. And I'm not saying it was altogether right, but he didn't force him to. And he gave him a snazzy new outfit. Come on.
That makes it even worse.
It does. But let me argue on that again. When Peter Parker was doing it all by himself, a bad guy still found out who he was, still found out who his girlfriend was, and ended up murdering that bitch. Okay? So
I would like for the jury to ignore that comment. That's irrelevant to the discussion.
And
It's not.
And just remember who saved Spider-Man? Punisher.
it's true.
That's
It's
true.
true.
It all comes full circle.
It does. Yeah. I like that
That's got to
part where
count for something.
I like
Got to
that
count for something.
Peter was all hopped up on the hallucinogens.
You know I killed my
Skullface
girlfriend. I snapped her neck.
guy. Yeah.
This is another point I wanted to make, and it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about who is a true hero. The end of the story, when they're go ahead. Let me make the statement, and then we can talk about it. At the end of the story, when Cap has the opportunity because Vision shuts down the Iron Man suit, and he has the opportunity to take Tony out, and then all the people rush in and stop him, and they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Look at our city!" And he's like, and he puts down his shield, and would Tony have done that, or would Tony have finished it?
I don't know.
Tony would have finished it. There's no doubt.
No.
And that's a
I
great
think
point.
Tony would have stopped because it's the same thing. Like Tony, because of Marion Sharp, he think he was being motivated by the will of the people. That's what he kept doing what he's doing. When Cap saw what the will of the people wanted, he stopped. So at the end of the day, they're both being, I don't not say manipulated, being pushed by the people.
Do you think it was the will of the people, or do you think it was the destruction?
It's a little bit of both, maybe. You know, the
Because
people.
the will of the people showed him the destruction of what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like basically got
tough
Tony and Cap got to the point they don't even know why they were fighting anymore.
They were
they were
fighting
just
just for the sake of fighting. Exactly.
And look who's tackling Cap at the end. It's firemen, security guards, EMTs. You know,
Actual
essential workers.
Essential workers. Yeah, they're tackling. They're tackling Cap, and he's like, "Oh, well, okay. I got to look at what I'm doing. I'm too far gone in my ideals that I've lost my way." And that's what happened to both sides. Coming back to the point of the story is not when you fail to reach that compromise and that solution, then it just becomes bickering, and everybody clings to these ideals so hard and so like desperately that they start ignoring the basic principles they believed in the first place. Because you have, Tony Stark and his side talking about law and order and justice. Meanwhile, they're hiring criminals and like the Thunderbolts. You got Captain America, who's all about freedom, civil liberties. He's becoming a tyrant, and they both fail to, find a compromise. And then they start bickering. It's my side. It's left versus right. Right, that's what it happens. That's what's going on today in real life.
Right.
So I think what Cap did, like regardless of who was right or who was wrong, Cap's like the fighting just needs to stop.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but would Tony have done that same thing, or would he have taken Cap out and been like, "All right, it's over"? I think in Tony's position, he was already in a position of doing the will of the people. In his mind, that's why he was fighting Captain America.
I mean, he did everything in his power to take Cap out earlier in the story.
Yeah.
Actually, no. He tried to talk to Cap.
And then,
once the fighting started.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they both have valid points. They both have, there's right to both sides. It's just, where do you find the common ground? Because Cap was open to the idea. It's just like, who is going to be in charge of this? Who's going to watch the Watchmen? Who's going to have that authority over these super beings?
And he didn't want S.H.I.E.L.D. over it. That's the thing. He
That's
didn't want
not
Maria Hill
his
over
decision. No, Captain America literally has been a soldier his entire life. He's always been taking orders from someone. He does not get to decide who his boss is.
Who does?
Yeah, but those
American people do.
Yeah, but governments can become corrupt, and Captain America knows that.
But
so
the thing is that this wasn't
then
about
he
the
can
government.
hang up the shield and retire.
Right. Like the people wanted this change done. And here's the thing, like we can talk about this all day. Like, let's look at a moral thing about this. Now, people saying is freedom versus security. Do we really want vigilante superheroes running around unchecked, doing whatever they want to with masks on, with no accountability whatsoever? Are people really going to put up with that?
In real life, no, but that's
Sure.
It's so hard to compare this story to real life.
But I think this book is trying to take those real life notes and inject them in a way that Marvel Comics typically don't. And you can tell by the way the real people are at the front of this. Miriam Sharp, the crowd at the end of the series that tackle Cap and end the fighting. I think they did that on purpose.
Or even how Happy is near Tony the entire time.
Sure.
Even Happy questions Tony, not to his face.
Yeah.
But, when other people, when he's talking to other people, he was like, my heart, might be in one place, but my head knows I need to be with my boss,
Yeah, but obviously, superheroes can't be discriminately going around fighting crime and causing all this damage. And yes, superheroes are providing a service for the country, for the world. They need their identities protected. Where do we draw that line? We don't know. That's why I like the part where Doctor Strange and the Watcher are talking, and he's like, "Why are you not getting involved?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just observing because I'm on whatever side causes less evil." So that's another comment, depicting the lesser of two evils.
Sure. But I mean, what we're saying is we're okay. What the argument would be is we're okay with people who we have no idea who they are jumping around beating the shit out of citizens. Okay.
With no
we don't
accountability.
we don't even tolerate that. I mean, mostly from the police officers who are actually hired to do that job, who do not have a secret identity, who we know who they are.
Right.
Who don't have any superpowers. If a cop is out there just beating the shit out of somebody, they should be prosecuted just like anybody else would. I don't understand why 15-year-old Spider-Man should get a pass.
Right. They're fighting in the middle of the street. One guy throws a car at another guy and then leaves. Who pays for the car?
Well, this goes back to the boys, really. Speed Freak runs through your old lady and murders her, and he just gets away with it. That's another deconstruction.
You read Batman White Knight for that.
Yeah, right.
or Watchmen TV show where the cops and the superheroes are on the same side. And the cops got to wear masks. Whoa,
is that what we want?
The cops are wearing masks. Damn.
No, but I mean, if you look at it, though, no. Hold on. Because Eli makes an amazing point making those comparisons. Because in this, they want the heroes to take off their masks to protect them. In Watchmen, they want their heroes to put on masks to protect them.
Well, the thing
it's the same argument. That's why Eli's comparison and point of both arguments being good actually works. Because we've seen it play out in this one way and in Watchmen another.
Now, when I read the story, I was trying to figure out, did they want the superheroes' identities available to the public or just to the government?
Does it matter?
I think it was the government, but they knew it was going to leak. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Spider-Man just took it a step further. He was like, I'm out there. Just whatever.
Right.
But
I think J. Jonah Jameson fainting, man.
He fainted. And right before he did it, he knew it was about to happen. So he was like, if you say one more word while it's happening, I'm going to fire you.
This right here on my wall is the Daily Bugle for Civil War, and it's
what was it? Frontline?
Yeah, it was like Frontline, and it says, "Parker, you're fired." J. Jonah Jameson, just awesome.
Frontline was a great series.
It actually was on the ground. It followed two reporters, one following the pro side, one following the anti-registration side, and it really dove into precisely what Eli's been talking about the whole time: how both arguments hold the same amount of weight, and it's really just your approach. And both sides take terrible approaches, man.
And I think that's the point. Back to what Boogie was saying about when Captain America gets tackled by all the the cops and the firemen, the people. That's so symbolic because Captain America, he's a symbol of freedom. He's USA, go go go, America's fuck yeah, And then he's getting tackled by the people. So you have these Cap and Tony, who represent government, fighting over what to do, and it's the people who take charge. And that's another point of the story. The people have to decide. That's democracy. We have to vote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the point. It's the people need to take their power back. Stop leaving power to the government and letting them do everything for us and dictating our lives. The people have the right to choose, and that's
I mean,
what happens.
that's the thing. And if the people,
The responsibility to choose.
and that's what Cap does in the end. Oh yeah, this is why I do what I do. It's for these people. That's why
right?
I'm
Because he
Captain
thinks he's going
America.
against the government, but he's really going against the will of the people, which make it like, is that something Captain America should do?
Yeah.
And that's what we have in the political system. The government we have two sides bickering against each other. They're all
That are both wrong. That are both wrong. That's the thing.
And they're all rich. They all got this massive amount of wealth, deciding what's good for the rest of us broke motherfuckers, who are bickering amongst ourselves at the same time.
Exactly.
We're all broke. All our lives suck, yet we're all blaming each other for it.
Oh, one more thing I want to talk about also. Now I'm kind of going on a tangent. Okay. In issue 5, this is what I want to talk about. The whole Fantastic Four splitting up. Half over here, half over here. When Sue Storm goes to Namor, here's my opinion. I think she slept with them to get them on Cap's side.
That's definitely a possibility.
The vibrations say
I'm more
that you're accurate.
with Captain America being a traitor and then doubling down on being a traitor by taking the side of an actual invading foreign government on U.S. sovereign soil.
Gummer's spinning it again just to try to win the argument.
I agree. That's how I read it. I read it the same way. He sent a honeypot to Namor.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, if you're playing that angle, that makes Captain America the biggest douchebag ever.
Captain America did a lot of bullshit in this story when you look at it. When Tony was trying to talk to him, he sucker punched Tony with that thing he got from Nick Fury.
Yeah.
JFK fucked Marilyn Monroe once. What's the big deal?
It's so funny the way you spin that, because when I read it, but I love the Fantastic Four, and I'm like all heartbroken about Reed and Sue being on opposite sides.
And
But
that's
that's
thing
it.
that
Technically, they were separated, so
But that again goes back to the hypocrisy, back to when Tony's making the deal with the president over, hey, when we're arresting all these assholes, I want Sue and Johnny, immunity. Again, corruption.
You're right, and you're talking about the wealthy assholes in power.
Yes,
manipulating the end. You're right.
Yes. And then Sue was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. You guys, that's why she leaves,
But her motivation.
But notice what she did. She cooked them. She cooked them dinner. She put the kids to bed. Screwed them silly. And then left.
All that in that letter, man.
It was so weird. It was so weird to me. But Sue Storm is a badass, yes. But her motivations have nothing to do with the big picture of what's going on. She's worried about her family.
Yeah.
And that's kind of lame to me,
and that's
man.
the thing, because
They didn't play it. Maybe in the Fantastic Four mini they played it up more, but in this alone, they did not play that up. I didn't need the whole Namor. I didn't need her going to Namor angle. I didn't need that. All I needed was Johnny getting hit in the head.
It felt like
they were trying to show how they were separated. It was showing how this civil war is breaking up families.
Yeah, family values.
But that Sue did feel different, and I've not read all the Fantastic
But it
Four
wasn't the
tie-ins
Civil
yet,
War breaking up. It was Reed being an asshole. Like always, Reed being the asshole. That's
but the Civil War,
Reed's on your side.
No, Reed can be on my side and still be an asshole. Hank Pym's on my side, and he's still an asshole. Tony is. Everyone in this book is a fucking asshole.
Why do you always hate on Reed, man? Reed tries so hard to do what's right, and he's just.
The right thing is to be a father and a husband. Those are the two things he always doesn't do. But if he would just do them,
the CEO. The CEO that's out there and he's grinding, he's working like 80 hours a week, he's making all this money and he spends it because he's trying to protect his family. He wants to provide for his family. That's what Reed Richards is doing. Reed Richards is not there for his family because he thinks he's there for his family. He thinks he's doing the right thing.
I get
His brother-in-law is in a coma.
He hadn't been to the hospital in 2 days.
And he's trying to solve the world's problems. He does look like an asshole when he leaves Johnny in the
He's
hospital.
Michael Corleone in Godfather 2.
Right? Yeah, he's taking care of the family, taking care of the bigger picture instead of
And the crazy thing is that everybody can see it except Reed. He's the smartest, dumbest guy ever.
That's
exactly.
true.
I
That's
heard you
true.
say that before about
He's in Wakanda trying to recruit Black Panther to his side. And the whole time, Black Panther's telling him, when the last time you talked to Sue? Please, go talk to your wife.
T'Challa playing Dr. Phil up in this motherfucker trying to get the couple
I do like
together.
the fact. I do like that the whole thing with Black Panther, how it's kind of similar to the movie where he didn't get involved until Goliath or Black Goliath got killed, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
if I would have, maybe if I had gotten involved sooner, that wouldn't have happened. And that's kind of like a callback to the movie where Wakanda's isolationist, and they don't want to,
Right.
they're kind of ignoring the
And
plight
they're
of
trying
the
to
world.
turn a blind eye to the world.
Yeah.
Everybody fighting in that war had it coming. They all could have died at any time. Clore, Ragnarok was not a great idea again, but he's just a weapon that they used. If you're not in the war, you're not going to get shot at. And Black Goliath got shot at.
I will say that one of my favorite moments in this book is when Sue takes out Taskmaster.
Right after shooting Reed, yeah.
Yeah,
and he knows that he's fucked. That's the thing.
He's like, oh shit, and then you just see that big cloud of smoke, and then like Taskmaster's all laid. I just laughed my ass off.
Fucking Taskmaster, man. I don't know why everyone thinks he's so great.
Oh.
My favorite tie-in was the Wolverine tie-in, and the reason is Wolverine is the only character who's actually being a hero. His entire arc, he's tracking down Nitro, who's the actual villain in the book. And
because Namor had basically put a contract on him because his cousin died.
Yeah, because Namorita bit it. Yeah,
that was an awesome tie-in. Matter of fact, I read that time before I actually read Civil War stuff.
I love Humberto Ramos's art on that, dude. He draws the perfect little short, stocky Logan. I love it so much. I wanted more issues of this. 7 issues, I think, was not enough for a big story like this, considering what Marvel does with other events.
Well, that's the thing. If you read all the tie-ins, everything before then, it's a lot. Because how long was this? This story was probably like 2 years worth of Marvel.
I think it was July to January.
Oh, that's it.
Maybe a little more.
Okay, I thought it was longer than that. But the thing is, everything that came, the fallout of Civil War affected Marvel at least to like 2010.
Oh yeah, with Secret Invasion and Siege and Dark Reign,
Dark Reign, Dark Avengers.
They had, man, I wish they would have, because they talk about the 50 State Initiative, which is a superhero team in all 50 states. They really should have built up the Secret Invasion more by having a 52 weekly issue series covering every team, every super team.
They had a book.
They had the book. It was actually by Dan Slott, Avengers the Initiative, and it's like the only Dan Slott book I really like.
Don't get me started.
And they had a book called The Order, which was the California superhero team written by Matt Fraction. And that book was cool because like every time the book came out, every issue, a member would get kicked off the team or die. Get kicked off the team for like drinking or something, something stupid. And that initiative book was cool, man. Like Taskmaster was a teacher and Hank Pym was a teacher.
Ant-Man, not Hank Pym Ant-Man, but the other crazy evil Ant-Man.
Not Scott Lang.
Not Scott Lang, the one after him, the crazy one, the pervert.
Too many fucking Ant-Mans. Ant-Man.
He like shrunk down in the shower and spied on Captain Marvel.
It was the irredeemable Ant-Man. I don't remember his name, but that was Robert Kirkman wrote that damn book. Yeah, I have all those issues.
He's like, Captain Marvel, you're my favorite Avenger.
Yeah. Oh man, did you want to talk about the movie too?
We can. I mean,
good Lord, Gomer, it's my bad time.
I know. I said it the way I did because we've been gone an hour.
Has it been an hour? It has been an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just briefly, I just want you to hit some quick points on the movie. Basically, the difference that they did. Like I said, Marion Sharp didn't have a big enough part in there. I think they swapped out Black Goliath's part with War Machine. Black guy got to die.
Yeah.
Kill War Machine. Whatever.
Well, there's a black guy. It's Disney. They don't care.
Right, but they can't kill him because they got to sell toys.
Exactly. Yeah. We need War Machine for Endgame.
Right. So stay for that. I'm trying to think what else happened in that movie.
Man, they all blend together for me.
The motivations were completely different, man. It was too much Winter Soldier in there, and
that's the thing. Like it wasn't like the whole point about the Registration Act. That was kind of like sidelined in the first act.
Yeah,
like it wasn't about that anymore.
Yeah, it's more about Baron Zemo. Like it's like Baron Zemo's manipulating everything almost.
I like that angle of it. I really did. Yeah. I like that Zemo character. I like him as a villain. I thought he was the best villain outside of Thanos.
It took away from the argument.
Yeah,
because the book, there's no villain. There's no clear cut. That's the bad guy. That's
there's no moment either. You don't get your Peter Parker moment. You don't really get your Cat moment. He's all worried about his homeboy. I don't know, man. You don't get the big moments like you get in the comic.
And plus you don't get as many characters. I mean,
exactly.
I wish I could show that panel right now. It was like 50 when he breaks the people out of negative space 42 or whatever.
Yeah.
and it's just a big army behind each other. We didn't get.
You don't get that huge action panel where Cloak is teleporting way too many people, and Cap's like, "All right, flyers, grab
They dropped
everybody."
out of the sky.
Oh,
and
it's
shit.
so cool, dude! I would have loved to have seen that on the big screen.
Or even they had Black
That was an
Lives
Endgame.
and
Yeah, right.
Hank Pym fighting each other.
Yeah,
That's got to
Yeah.
be in Ant-Man 3. I want to see two big giant dudes fight each other. Why we haven't had that in the Marvel
oh
universe?
my gosh, you're so right, dude.
Because that was in, and then not
man.
only were they fighting, then you had Scott Lang's daughter, like Stature.
Yeah.
She was fighting. What's the guy's name? Atlas or something?
I don't remember. I
Power-
think it's Atlas. Yeah.
I love that,
Something.
like where like Hercules is fighting the Thor clone, and somebody
Hercules
says,
was beating ass this whole book.
Dude,
Yeah.
he uses that
Like-
old Dan Quayle quote or whatever. I knew Thor, you're no Thor, or whatever.
was
But like
somebody,
the entire book, like you watch the panels in the background, he's like beating like 2 or 3 people at a time, like smacking She-Hulk and Atlas around. You know, anytime Captain America's ass beat, Hercules is right there, just popping out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
but I think it was Sue who, like in that panel where the Thor clone and Hercules are fighting. I think Sue says like, "What in God's name?" I just like that.
Yeah.
That as a panel, just that statement. That's the symbolism of that panel.
Nice.
You know, I thought that was really cool. And when Punisher picks up Captain America's mask at the end,
Oh, well, that
Yeah.
didn't even ever go anywhere, man.
I was wondering
well,
about
that's
that.
the
yeah.
Millar set that up. Nobody ran with that.
If you remember, Captain America dies like 2 weeks after this happens. Remember, he gets shot.
for no reason. It was just there.
It's so
Just a shock.
stupid.
Nobody
And they have the
nobody
whole-
believed he was gonna stay dead. How long did
Yeah.
it take for him to come back? Like,
But is there a deeper
Wield
comment to that?
shield, They had.
That had me thinking, is there any deeper commentary on that? You know, Punisher, this vigilante.
well, yeah, because the
Picking up,
thing is,
you know-
they explained that. I think it's Spider-Man maybe even explained it, like doing halfway the book when Captain America was beating the shit out of Punisher. Punisher
Yeah.
didn't touch him, and Spider-Man said they're the same guy, different war.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it goes back to the thing I was talking about the themes, how after 9/11, everything changed, but Captain America was still living that old ideal. Punisher don't live that old ideal, but he could still be better. So it was definitely an opportunity
Because
to.
when we look back at World War II, we look at those guys as heroes. When
Yeah,
we look
Vietnam, not so much.
Not so
maybe.
much, right.
Yeah, at least in a big
That's-
picture sort of
and
way.
I mean that's because World War II is like the only war that was actually
Really, Boogie?
fought.
I was laughing at the Eddie Murphy joke,
Oh,
not at Yule.
but I think like World War II is like the only war where there was a clear cut good and evil.
Yeah.
And every other war ever is like some
And the
weird
propaganda
political-
campaign was a
Yeah.
lot bigger for World War II. You can't have propaganda when they're filming the war on the
Yeah.
front line like they did in Nam. You know, it's
Right.
weird.
You know.
Vietnam doesn't even exist anymore in the Marvel universe, so I don't think we need to go
But
there.
it's see it Kong.
It's
there.
seeing
That's right.
Kong.
Yeah.
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 But I think Punisher, you know, packing up or picking up Cap's mask is just like sort of like he sees himself like maybe what Gomer said, that he can be better. Because even Captain America made mistakes, and he's like, I just, you know, it just had me thinking this time around. Like
They
what
should
does
have
that
went
mean?
there, man. There was a lot
I'm
of
so
low
glad they
hanging
didn't have a
fruit.
Captain America Punisher. I didn't want to see that.
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of
I-
low hanging fruit at the end of this series that they could have picked up and really, you know, gone in some fun directions with that. I don't think they did. But that's Marvel. They never carry through with their events, you know?
Yeah.
But that's
just
why they're
playing
so
enough
great
Steves
to read like this. Go back and just read it for what it is.
Sure.
Don't worry about anything else.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love the big universe, though. You know, I love the continuity.
But I do like that, even though they have all these tie-ins and stuff like that, you can just read these 7 issues and you'll be fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I didn't read any of the tie-ins. No.
Like it's nice. That stuff is nice there. Like you want to watch Wolverine track down Nitro and whatever, and Tony Stark, you know, do a sales pitch with Spider-Man. That's cool.
And a lot of them aren't needed. Spidey, Cap, New Avengers, Iron Man, maybe Frontline, maybe Fantastic Four. But there were
Fantastic
so many
Four,
times.
what I've read of the Fantastic Four one's good. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you love Ben Grimm, which you know he's like one of my favorite characters.
Who
it's
writes
good.
that? Who's
Yeah,
writing
that's cool.
that?
Like Ben is that and during the whole fight. Ben's going around
Krasinski.
fucking
Oh, nice.
yeah.
And
during the-
McDuffie. It has McDuffie listed too.
But yeah, Ben Grimm at the end of the war, a civil war, the whole fight's going on. He's going around saving people.
right.
Yeah, he's
not
just
even
rescuing. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
like
Because everybody else is just fighting. They're just blowing up shit.
What's
Yeah.
interesting though is in this, like it's right when it starts when Johnny's in the hospital and Reed's like, I'm leaving, I'm not staying here, and they're like, well, somebody needs to stay with him. He needs a familiar voice, whatever. And so Ben's like, I'll stay, and Sue leaves, and she comes back, and he's like, how long's it been? Like thinking it's been like a day, and she's like, it's been an hour, but you can go ahead. So like he leaves and he's walking down Yancey Street and all these people are stopping him and they're like, you got to join Team Cap. And you know, that's a whole theme of this show tonight is we've been talking about how the people stand with Iron Man, but there are some of the people that stand with Cap and they're like, you got to pick a side. You got to pick a side. And he's like, I don't want to pick a side.
Right. Now that's the thing. Like if you just read just a book by itself, just these 7 issues, none of the people get behind Cap.
Right. Yeah.
Like they just look at him. They look at him like a terrorist. Like that's how you look at him.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Weird. Have we talked much about Civil War? I think we've gone on long enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Chat. I know you're loving it. I know we got a lot of comments. I'm gonna look through this later on. Want to appreciate everybody for the 150th episode. If you listen this long, definitely like, share, and subscribe. We have other podcasts. We have ComicCast. Guess what, Boogie? Eli's coming for you. Eli, rattle off all the podcasts you have.
Oh
I only got 3. I got Geek Savs, this one, and Riddle of Steel. That's all now.
Oh, that's right.
See? I got ComicCast, Talking Balls, and the Wrestling Council. So me and Eli are just
Clone Wars is over, and there's no
yours, Eli.
Talking Balls. There's no football. Football's over forever.
Talking Balls is the cash cow. How dare you?
Right?
Hey, follow us on Twitter at ComicCast Pod. Go subscribe to the S&B Network.
Yep.
I gotta get my
And
plugs in.
yep, we got all the plugs we got in. Gomer, anything you want to plug?
Nah, outright geekery. It's all
You
good.
want to give a shout out to your family? Anything? Okay, that's fine.
They're waiting on me, man.
They can't wait till it's over. They're going to listen back together as a family.
I guess.
No.
All right. So next week we're gonna go maybe back to normal or not back to normal. I don't know what we're gonna do. I know everybody else is gonna be talking about comics. We may or may not talk about the new books. I don't. We may just direct you to ComicCast, let them talk about it, and we'll do something else. I don't know. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
Yep. And okay.
Other guys.
That's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's okay.
I
It's cool.
love the ending.
You all are being initiated.
Now it's like a dope song usually after this.
I know I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking about it right now. But until then, you follow us next week. Same bully time, same bully channel.
It happened on one of them zippity-doo-dah days. Now that's the kind of day when you can't open your mouth without a song jump right out of it. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. It's the truth. It's actual. Everything is satisfactual. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Yes, sir. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day.
Oh, plenty of sunshine in the way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay.
Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, feeling this way. Zoom, 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 zoom. Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. It is the truth. It's actual. Huh? Why is that Bluebird? Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful